Ambition is a currency, and the world is full of poor souls too afraid to spend it. Me? I'll buy the whole damn bank. What about you? So, what's the secret? Patience. Watch the board, study the pieces, and when the time comes, don't just play the game, break it. So, what's the secret? Patience. Watch the board, study the pieces, and when the time comes, don't just play the game, break it.
You see, power, real power, doesn't come to those who are born strongest or fastest or smartest, no. It comes to those who will do anything to achieve it.
The only thing more satisfying than convincing someone to do what I want is failing to persuade them on purpose. It's like a do not enter sign. It just begs you to walk through the door.
The truth is, there are no rules, only outcomes. Morality is a luxury for those who have nothing to lose. But if you want to win, you'll need to dirty your hands. And when you do, make sure there's no one left to point fingers. The truth is, there are no rules, only outcomes. Morality is a luxury for those who have nothing to lose. But if you want to win, you'll need to dirty your hands. And when you do, make sure there's no one left to point fingers. Manipulation is the weapon of the patient. Why break a man when you can make him dismantle himself piece by piece? Welcome to the House of Cards. If you are not following us, you may not see us again. Manipulation is the weapon of the patient. Why break a man when you can make him dismantle himself piece by piece? Welcome to the House of Cards. If you are not following us, you may not see us again. The rules to success are simple. If you think you can't, you are right. But for those of us climbing to the top of the food chain, there can be no mercy. There is but one rule: hunt or be hunted. You think there is a next time. There is no next time. There is only now, in this moment. If you don't start now, you can as well forget about it. I repeat, if you don't start now, you can as well forget about it. The rules to success are simple. If you think you can't, you are right. But for those of us climbing to the top of the food chain, there can be no mercy. There is but one rule: hunt or be hunted.
Can I ask why you do that?
Manipulation is the weapon of the patient. Why break a man when you can make him dismantle himself piece by piece? Welcome to the House of Cards. If you are not following us, you may not see us again. The rules to success are simple. If you think you can't, you are right. But for those of us climbing to the top of the food chain, there can be no mercy. There is but one rule: hunt or be hunted. Listen to me. You are not going to get anywhere in this world. You're not going to get anywhere financially, spiritually, socially, or otherwise until you get to that point where you don't give a damn about what other people think about you.
Money over power. In this town, a mistake nearly everyone makes. Money is the McMansion in Sarasota that starts falling apart after 10 years. Power is the old stone building that stands for centuries. I cannot respect someone who doesn't see the difference.
No one cares about your struggles. No one is coming to save you. The world moves on with or without you. But here's the truth. If you fight, if you push, if you refuse to break, you will build a life so powerful that one day they'll have no choice but to notice.
Can I ask why you do that?
People want to believe they're in control. Let them. Feed their egos, give them their illusions. But remember, control isn't about barking orders. It's about knowing what people need and giving it to them just enough to keep them tethered to you.
Can I ask why you do that?
People want to believe they're in control. Let them. Feed their egos, give them their illusions. But remember, control isn't about barking orders. It's about knowing what people need and giving it to them just enough to keep them tethered to you.
Work hard, play by the rules. You aren't guaranteed success. Your children will not have a better life than you do. 10 million of you can't even get a job, even though you desperately want one.
You are entitled to nothing.
You are entitled to nothing.
What do you see when you look in the mirror? 1, the version of you stuck in excuses, regrets, and missed opportunities. Or 2, the unstoppable force who takes what they deserve and plays to win. Choose wisely, because the reflection you accept is the life you live.
Can I ask why you do that?
Something my father taught me. It's meant to harden your knuckles so you don't break them if you get into a fight. It also has the added benefit of knocking on wood. My father believed that success is a mixture of preparation and luck. Tapping the table kills both birds with one stone.
Can I ask why you do that?
Something my father taught me. It's meant to harden your knuckles so you don't break them if you get into a fight. It also has the added benefit of knocking on wood. My father believed that success is a mixture of preparation and luck. Tapping the table kills both birds with one stone.
The world isn't fair. It never has been. But fairness is a story we tell the naive to keep them in line. The truth? Power doesn't belong to those who deserve it. It belongs to those who seize it. And that, my friend, requires a willingness to do what others won't. If you are not following House of Card, you may never see us again. The world isn't fair. It never has been. But fairness is a story we tell the naive to keep them in line. The truth? Power doesn't belong to those who deserve it. It belongs to those who seize it. And that, my friend, requires a willingness to do what others won't. If you are not following House of Cards, you may never see us again. You think the system is fair? That's your first mistake. The system isn't built to reward your intelligence. It's built to reward your silence, your obedience. That's why fools hold power and brilliance fades in the shadows. If you want to break free, stop playing by their rules. Stop being fair. Start playing smart. Start playing to win. Imagine you are here with me right now. Would you prefer a cup of tea or coffee? Be mindful of what you pick, because it's not a simple question. Perhaps you don't feel like having a drink at all, but you still choose a drink from the options I presented. This technique is called the framing effect. This is how the system makes you think you have a choice. In reality, you don't. They choose, and you obey. Your name? Not your choice. Your thoughts? Not yours either. All those years of being molded, of being taught what to think. And at 25, you still believe you're making decisions? Wake up. No one's coming to save you. In this game, there's only but one truth. You're either the predator or the prey. Follow the House of Cards and learn the rule to become the top predator.
Somebody's watching me. Is my anxiety.
Here's how to make anyone work for you without them even realizing it. 1. Ask for advice, not help, for example. Say, what would you do in this situation? Boom. They just gave you the game plan and volunteered. People love to feel smart. Ask for their opinion and watch them do the work for you. 2. Play dumb. Stay golden. Act like you don't get it. Most people would rather just do it for you than explain it twice. If you are not following the House of Cards, you may never see us again.
What if I tell you silence is more powerful than shouting? Here's how it works. Next time someone tries to dominate you, don't react. Just stare. Calm. Still. Let them feel the emptiness they created. Their brain will spiral, trying to fill the silence. And just like that, control shifts to you. Now listen carefully. Join us, or you may never see us again. The most dangerous weapon manipulators use is a compliment. Here's how. A manipulator makes you feel not enough, not attractive enough, not successful enough, and just when you start breaking, they throw you a lifeline. A small compliment. A rare moment of approval. And that's the trap. You become addicted to their approval. Their validation becomes your oxygen. And before you know it, you're not living for yourself anymore. You're living for them. All lies. Work hard, play by the rules, and they'll tell you success is guaranteed. But here's the hard truth. Your children won't have a better life than you did. They'll be stuck in the same system, grinding the same gears, just like you. The rules aren't there for your success. They're there to keep you in line. The system doesn't reward effort, it rewards manipulation. So forget playing by the rules. The only way to win is to break them, bend them, and make them work for you.
Here's how to make anyone work for you without them even realizing it. 1. Ask for advice, not help, for example. Say, what would you do in this situation? Boom. They just gave you the game plan and volunteered. People love to feel smart. Ask for their opinion and watch them do the work for you. 2. Play dumb. Stay golden. Act like you don't get it. Most people would rather just do it for you than explain it twice. If you are not following the House of Cards, you may never see us again.
My father, you killed my father. You're the reason he died.
I just love the smell of
Here is the brutal fucking truth. And you can hate me, you can be disgusted, but without me, you are nothing.
You think you're free? You think you really have a choice? Spare me the fairy tale. Here is the secret. They don't need chains when they have screens. They don't need whips when they have fear. They let you choose what they already picked for you. Your leaders, selected. Your options, controlled. Your freedom, a well-crafted illusion. So tell me, are you really free or just comfortable?
In the end, I don't care whether you love me or you hate me, just as long as I win. The deck is stacked. The rules are rigged. Welcome to the death of the age of reason. There is no right or wrong. Not anymore. There's only being in, and then being out.
You want to know how you win? I'm going to let you on a little secret. There is rules. Here comes 3 rules of winning. Rule 1 is the simplest of them all. Attack, attack, attack. Win the mind first. The body will follow. If they believe you can't lose, they won't try to beat you. Rule 2 admits nothing, deny everything. Rule 3, this is the most important rule of all. No matter what happens, no matter how beaten you are, you never admit defeat. Never admit defeat. Never start a sentence with these 3 words if you want to be respected. The last one you should beware of. 1. I think. It instantly softens your authority. Say it like you know, not like you're guessing. 2. I'm sorry. Unnecessary apologies shrink your power. Save it for when it actually matters. 3. I'm not sure. Instant doubt. If you're not sure, why should they be? Say it like you own it. Even if you're still learning. Speak with clarity, lead with confidence, because how you start shapes how they listen. You really think the politicians have you in mind? Oh, you poor, naive soul. But here's the truth. Left wing, right wing, they're just 2 sides of the same filthy coin. And guess what? You're not the one flipping it. This was never about you, never will be. Your interests? A footnote in their agenda, a distraction at best. The game was rigged long before you arrived. The only question is, are you still dumb enough to play by their rules? Follow the House of Cards, or you may never see us again.
Power is a game, and like every game, it has rules. But here's the secret. The real players don't follow the rules. They rewrite them. Power isn't loud. It doesn't scream or beg for attention. Real power is silent. It's the unseen strings, that make people dance without ever realizing who's pulling them. Most people play to survive, the 1%. They play to win. And the difference? Strategy. The greatest lie they've sold you is that life is fair, that everyone plays the same game. Here's the truth. There's no referee, just winners and losers. And the rules? They only exist for those too weak to break them. Most people are pieces on the board, moving when they're told, living how they're taught. Now here's how to think like the 1%. Learn the rules, then bend them, shape them, break them if you must, because in this game, there's only one goal: control. The greatest lie they've sold you is that life is fair, that everyone plays the same game. Here's the truth. There's no referee, just winners and losers. And the rules? They only exist for those too weak to break them. Most people are pieces on the board, moving when they're told, living how they're taught. Now here's how to think like the 1%. Learn the rules, then bend them, shape them, break them if you must, because in this game, there's only one goal: control.
Here is how you can make anyone tell you the truth without them even knowing. Don't ask a direct question if you want a detailed and accurate answer. Instead, make a false statement about it. For example, let's say you want to know someone's salary. Don't ask directly. Instead, say, "I heard that your position doesn't pay more than $30,000. True?" They will be quick to correct you, saying, "No, I actually make $75,000 a year." People love to correct others. When they do, they focus completely on proving you wrong. And in the process, they will reveal the information you need. If you are not following the House of Cards, you may never see us again. Have you ever wondered how some people speak and the room listens? Here's how you take control. 1. Never beg for attention. Demand it. For example, if they're not paying attention, pull them in with a question or a statement that makes them rethink everything. 2. Master the silence. Most people rush to speak, but don't. Use silence like a weapon. Pause before you speak. Let them feel the weight of your words before they even hear them. Then leave them questioning their own ideas. Make them feel like they need your insight to move forward. If you are not following the House of Cards, you may never see us again.
Here's how your boss makes you feel in control, while keeping you stuck in your 9 to 5. 1. They ask for your input and change nothing. You're heard, but never listened to. 2. They reward you, just enough to keep you loyal. A bonus here, a pat on the back there, just enough to keep you quiet. 3. They sell you stability while stealing your time. Security feels safe until you realize it's a cage in disguise. Real control, it's building something that's yours. Want freedom? Don't wait for permission. Create it. If you are not following the House of Cards, you may never see us.
Here is how to sell anything to anyone using this 3 neuromarketing strategy. 1. Apply anchoring bias. Instead of saying on sale for $99, say originally $200, now $99. The first price the customer sees sets up their perception of value. 2. Leverage the contrast effect. Always position your product to higher price alternatives. For example, a $1,000 watch looks expensive, but next to a $10,000 watch, it looks like a great deal. 3. Use the rules of 3. People often choose the cheapest option when given 3 options. If you're not following the House of Cards, you may never see us again. Here is how to sell anything to anyone using this 3 neuromarketing strategy. 1. Apply anchoring bias. Instead of saying on sale for $99, say originally $200, now $99. The first price the customer sees sets up their perception of value. 2. Leverage the contrast effect. Always position your product to higher price alternatives. For example, a $1,000 watch looks expensive, but next to a $10,000 watch, it looks like a great deal. 3. Use the rules of 3. People often choose the cheapest option when given 3 options. If you're not following the house of cards, you may never see us again. Stop thinking it's your choice because it's not. You've always wanted to quit your 9 to 5, but you can't. Here is how your boss keeps you caged in working for him. First, they stunt your growth. No promotions, no skills, no future, just enough to keep you obedient. Second, fear. Subtle, but effective. They'll make you believe stepping out means falling flat, that the world out there won't want you, that you're not good enough. But remember, the most dangerous man in the room is the one who realizes the door was never locked. The 3 technique your boss uses to outsmart and manipulate you. The last one is used more times than you can think of. 1. The workload trap. They don't give you extra work because they trust you. They do it to see how much you'll take before you break. 2. The undervaluing game. They tell you you're lucky to be here, but let me tell you a secret. It's them who are lucky to have you. 3. The guilt play. We're like family here, they say. Ah, now that's a good one. Now you know their secret. You're not stuck in the system. You're the system. Start acting like it. Follow the house of cards, or you may never see us again.
Power is a game, and like every game, it has rules. But here's the secret. The real players don't follow the rules. They rewrite them. Power isn't loud. It doesn't scream or beg for attention. Real power is silent. It's the unseen strings that make people dance without ever realizing who's pulling them. Most people play to survive, the 1%. They play to win. And the difference? Strategy. You want to learn how to think like the 1%? Then join the House of Card.
Want to know why people never help you when you need it most? It's because they don't feel the debt. They don't feel the power of your favor. When you do something for someone, never say, no problem, or it's all good. You're letting go of your advantage by saying that. Instead say, of course, I know if the roles were reversed, you'd do the same for me. In that moment, you plant a seed deep in their mind. When the time comes, they'll feel a pull to repay you, whether they realize it or not. This is how you shift the game. This is how you bend reality to your will. Now listen carefully. You may not see us again. Join us and learn to become powerful.
Imagine you need $100 from a friend. You ask and they say no. But what if I told you there's a trick to make them say yes instead? The door-in-the-face technique. Ask for $500 first. They'll likely refuse because $500 is too much. Then calmly say, no problem, but can you help with just $100? Boom, they'll feel guilty saying no twice. Their brain compares $100 to the $500. And suddenly $100 feels tiny and easy. It's a psychological mind game. Use this strategy for favors, donations, or even at work. Ask for something big. First, when they reject it, lower your ask to what you really want. They'll almost always agree. Join the House of Card and learn how to become powerful.
You know, I do a shitload of reading, studying, and praying, and I've come to a few conclusions I want to share. You're either a big leaguer or you're a slave clawing your way onto the C train. Some people say Jack Abramoff moves too fast. Jack Abramoff cuts corners. Well, I say to them, if that's the difference between me and my family having a good life and walking and using the subway every day, then so be it. I will not allow my family to be slaves. I will not allow the world I touch to be vanilla. You say I'm selfish? Fuck you! I give back plenty. You say I got a big ego? Fuck you twice! I'm Jack Abramoff. And oh yeah, I work out every day.
How to get anyone to agree with you without them realizing it. 1. Use the yes ladder. Start with small questions they can't say no to. For example, say, would you agree that most people want better results? Boom. Now their brain is primed to nod along. By the time you drop your real ask, saying yes feels natural. 2. Mirror their language, not your words, their words. If they say this could be interesting, you say it definitely has potential. They hear themselves in you, and people trust themselves more than anyone. If they push back, don't argue. Say, that's a good point. How would you approach it? Now, they are negotiating against themselves to find a middle ground, and it will usually be your ground. Join us. Stop doing these 3 things if you want to be rich. The last one is why you're still broke. 1. Living like you're already rich. Stop buying luxury to look successful. Rich people buy assets first. Broke people buy liabilities. 2. Trading time for money. If your income depends only on how many hours you work, you'll stay stuck. Rich people build systems, investments, and businesses that make money while they sleep. 3. Thinking small. This is the real killer. You're still poor because your goals are small. You're scared to fail big, so you keep playing safe. Wealth doesn't live in your comfort zone. Now listen carefully. You may not see us again. Join the House of Cards. Good men do not rule the world. Ruthless men do. People do not follow the most honest or the most kind. They follow the one who makes them believe he's inevitable. Weak men waste time trying to be liked, but the powerful understand that being liked is meaningless without respect. And respect does not come from kindness. It comes from necessity, from fear, from the belief that without you they would be lost. If you seek influence, do not ask for it, take it. Do not rely on goodwill. Make yourself indispensable. And if you must be loved, let it be only when it serves you. Power is not granted, it's seized by those who refuse to ask permission. Join us to become powerful. Never do these 3 things if you want to control your boss. 1. Never react emotionally. Control is lost the moment you let emotion leak. Stay composed. A calm man unsettles everyone, especially those in charge. 2. Never correct them in public. Control isn't about being right, it's about being remembered. Let them save face while you adjust the game behind closed doors. 3. Never fight battles that don't serve your endgame. Pride picks fights. Strategy picks timing. If it won't earn you power, let it pass. Silence is sometimes the loudest move. Control doesn't look like force, it looks like trust you planted, growing exactly where you planned. If you are not following the House of Cards, you might never see us again. You're negotiating with a client who clearly wants to feel like they're the smartest, toughest person at the table. Here is how you control their ego without them noticing. You don't challenge them. Instead, you set the stage like this. You obviously know the market inside out, and you've probably seen deals that weren't structured smartly. I'm curious, if you were structuring this, what key things would you lock in to make it airtight? Now client feels respected and smart, starts laying out terms. As they talk, you listen for points that align with what you want. When you hear them, you stop them and say, exactly. That's why I thought if we set it up, it would be a win-win just like you outlined. Watch as they bend to your terms. Join us if you want to be powerful. It's a scam. Here is how they make you feel it's your idea. 1. The "you're too smart" hook. They drop a line like, only the clever ones spot this early. Now, your brain kicks in. I am clever. This might be legit. You connect the dots they handed you, it feels like your discovery, but they drew the map. 2, the soft suggestion. They don't say, buy this now. They say, some people are already earning. You think, if others are doing it, maybe I should act before it's too late. Suddenly you feel behind, so you leap. On your own, right? Exactly what they wanted. They don't steal your trust, they let you give it to them. Willingly, smiling, thinking it was all your idea. That's the trap. Join us to become powerful. They belittle you, mock you, make damn sure you know your place. And if you let them, well, you deserve every bit of it. But here's the thing, you have 2 choices. Accept it, or learn the 3 rules of power that separate kings from pawns. Rule 1. Never beg for respect. Respect isn't given, it's taken. The moment you ask for it, you admit you don't deserve it. 2. Control the frame. The man who controls the conversation controls the outcome. If you let people set the rules, you're already losing. 3. Power is perception. It doesn't matter who's right. It matters who looks right. Play the role, own the room, and they'll believe what you want them to believe. Now here is the thing. There are those who take power and those who wait for permission. Which one are you? Have you ever asked yourself, why are some people valued, respected, and loved and you are not? Here is why, and 3 ways to gain the same influence. The last one is a secret only known by few. 1. Speak less, watch more. Weak men fill the silence. Powerful men let others reveal their own weaknesses. Every time you talk too much, you give away leverage. Stay quiet, observe, control the room without saying a word. 2. Never chase, only replace. If someone disrespects you, you don't beg for respect. You remove yourself. The moment they realize they need you more than you need them, the game shifts. 3. Disappear and let them feel your absence. A man who is always available is never valued. Make them miss you. Make them notice when you're gone, because when your presence is a privilege, your respect is automatic.
Power is a lot like real estate. It's all about location, location, location.
As you can see, the founding fathers didn't plan for this.
Closer you are to the source, the higher your property value.
But I did.
Centuries from now, when people watch this footage, who will they see smiling just at the edge of the frame?
For those of us climbing to the top of the food chain, there can be no mercy. There is but one rule. Ruthless pragmatism. Welcome to Washington.
I've always told myself that everything I did was for her. But maybe it wasn't. Maybe I love power. In the end, I don't care whether you love me or you hate me, just as long as I win. The deck is stacked. The rules are rigged, so I will not be party to this anymore.
Meet your new death. We don't submit to terror. We make the terror. Here's why you're poor, and they're not. It's about what game you were taught to play. While you were told to work hard, save money, and stay safe, the wealthy were handed a different rule book. Here are the 3 cheat codes they mastered. 1. Leverage. You were told, do it yourself. They were told, use systems, people, and capital. 2. Ownership over labor. You were told, get a good job. They were told, own the ladder, don't climb it. Employees get paid once, owners get paid continuously. 3. Playing the tax game like pros. You were told, pay your taxes, it's your duty. They were taught, use the tax code, it's an incentive manual. The rich don't evade taxes, they use the rules. Tools you were never taught in school, because school wasn't designed to make you wealthy, it was designed to make you compliant. You're weak, an outcast, a burden, they say, dead weight in their eyes, someone they'd rather forget. But here's how you make them beg for your attention. 1. Withdraw strategically. Attention is the currency of influence. People don't fear losing you, they fear losing how they feel around you. So take away your energy, your validation, your presence. The same people who once ignored you will start wondering what went wrong. 2. Exploit their need for consistency. Human psychology craves predictable characters. The moment you break pattern, you unsettle them. Stop reacting the way they expect. Smile where you used to lash out. Walk away when you used to beg. It makes them feel unstable, and they'll chase stability, even if it's in you. Now listen, if you are not following us, you might never see us again. You will keep being the fool if you keep doing these 3 things. And the worst part, you won't even realize the last one until it's too late. 1. Pleasing everyone. If you live for their approval, you'll die from their rejection. The moment you start seeking validation, you give away your power. Stop trying to be liked. Start demanding respect. 2. Waiting for the right time. You think there's a perfect moment to start, to move, to take control? There isn't. The ones who wait for permission never make history. The ones who act do. 3. Trusting words instead of actions. People will promise you everything, then deliver nothing. The weak believe words. The strong watch behavior. Learn the difference or keep getting played. If you are not following the House of Cards, you might never see us again.
You're about to become the most powerful man in the free world.
You don't have to do this, sir.
I spoke to Kern last night. He's not going to back down.
So we'll beat him down.
No, Frank. My approvals are at 8%. Even if I avoid conviction, I have no mandate to lead, so better I step aside with some dignity so the nation can start to heal.
I can never fill your shoes, sir.
You don't have a choice now.
Sir, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Francis J. Underwood.
I, Francis J. Underwood,
Do solemnly swear.
do solemnly swear
You think you're in control? Think again. If you don't see these three signs, you're not just being used, you're being played. Sign one, they only call when they need something. If the only time they reach out is when they want a favor, congratulations, you're not a friend, you're a tool. And tools get used until they break. Sign two, they make you feel guilty for saying no. Real power is in choice. But if someone makes you feel selfish for protecting your time, your energy, your money, then you're not dealing with a friend. You're dealing with a manipulator. Sign three, they never reciprocate. You give, you sacrifice, you show up. But when it's your turn, silence. If you're always the one making the effort, then understand this. You're not in a relationship. You're in a transaction. Welcome to the House of Cards. If you are not following us, you may not see us again. Let me ask you something. Have you ever stopped to think about what secret they might be hiding from you? Here is how you make them reveal their deep secrets. 1. The reverse psychology technique. This technique involves subtly making them think they're not revealing anything by pretending you're uninterested or suggesting that you already know the answer. This disarms their defenses and opens the door for them to prove you wrong. For example, you say, I'm sure you've had your fair share of secrets, but honestly, I doubt there's anything that big you could be hiding. You're an open book, right? Boom. Now watch how they spill the big secret. When you act like you don't care, or that they've already revealed it, they often feel compelled to correct you and spill more than they originally intended. They don't want to leave you with the wrong impression, and it softly encourages them to fill in the blanks. Now listen, subscribe to learn how to become powerful. They like you, but they don't respect you. You laugh too easily, agree too quickly, apologize when you're not even wrong. You're chasing approval, and they can smell it. It's in your voice, your posture, your hesitation. You've been playing the nice guy your whole life, trying to be liked, trying to fit in. You forgot what power feels like. Let me remind you, respect isn't earned through kindness. It's earned when you don't fold under pressure. It's earned in silence, in eye contact that doesn't break, in calm defiance. Next time they test you, don't speak, don't blink, don't beg for understanding. Remind them that you weren't born to be agreeable. You weren't made to be liked. You were born to be remembered. Power isn't loud. It's controlled. It's presence. And it's time you remembered that. Wake up! Powerful people don't speak first. They don't rush to fill the air. They wait, they watch, they listen. Here's the trick. When someone finishes talking, don't reply. Don't even flinch. Let the silence breathe. 1 second, 2. In that small space, something shifts. They start to squirm just a little. And suddenly they start talking again, filling the quiet, explaining, justifying, revealing. They tell you more than they plan to, more than they should. You see, most people are terrified of silence. They mistake it for disapproval. They panic. And in that panic, they give you everything. But you're calm, unmoved. You let the silence stretch. Not because you're unsure, but because you own the moment. That's not passivity. That's control. That's presence. Weak people notice mistakes and laugh. Strong people notice mistakes and learn. Weak people talk about others' problems to feel better. Strong people talk about others' problems to become better. Weak people gossip to build fake connections. Strong people express vulnerability to build real ones. Weak people envy those ahead of them. Wrong people ignore those ahead of them. Right people study those ahead of them. Weak people crave comfort. Strong people seek growth, even when it's uncomfortable. Weak people blame. Strong people take ownership. Weak people follow the crowd. Strong people follow conviction. Weak people need attention. Strong people command respect. Weakness is loud. Strength is quiet and unshakable. You don't grow by being better than others. You grow by being better than who. You will remain poor if you keep doing these three things. And the last one, you won't even see it coming. 1. The 9 to 5 illusion. A paycheck is nothing more than a leash. You trade your time for just enough to survive, never enough to break free. You think you're building a future, but in reality, you're building someone else's empire. 2. The chains of opinion. If you let whispers shape your destiny, you'll never be more than a puppet on a string. Wealth isn't found in their approval, it's found in your defiance. The moment you start caring what they think is the moment you've already lost. 3. The tomorrow trap, the most dangerous lie of all. Tomorrow is where dreams go to die. The wealthy, we don't wait. We strike, because if you can't act today, you sure as hell won't act tomorrow. Follow the house of cards, or you may never see us again. There's 5 reasons customers don't buy. No money, no time, no need, no urgency, no trust. Right? Money, time, need, urgency, trust. Everything falls under those categories. Listen carefully. It's never about the money. Listen to what I just said. It's never about the money. You could argue with me that maybe 5 or 10% of the people simply don't have the money. And I'm with you on that. But in the majority of cases, it's never about price. Too often, the first thing we do is we discount our products because we think that would help us sell. But as soon as you discount your product, what signal do you send the customer? Yeah, it's the worst signal. You actually validate their actual fears. It's never about the money. Study after study has shown it's never about price. Many of you tell me if I'm right or wrong. Have you ever bought something that cost just a little bit more, but you bought it from somebody you trust?
What'd you do with your money?
I cleaned it.
Okay. Money laundering 101. Say you come across a suitcase with $5 million in it. What would you buy? A yacht? A mansion? A sports car? Sorry, the IRS won't let you buy anything of value with it. That money into the banking system. But here's the problem. That dirty money, it's too clean. Looks like it just came out of a bank vault. You gotta age it up, crumple it, drag it through the dirt, run it over with your car. Anything to make it look like it's been around the block. Next, you need a cash business. Something pleasant and joyful, with books that are easily manipulated. No credit card receipts, etc. You mix the $5 million with the cash from the joyful business. That mixture goes from an American bank to a bank from any country that doesn't have to listen to the IRS. Then goes into a standard checking account, and voila, clean. It's as legitimate as anybody else's.
The 1% don't live like you. They don't think like you. And they sure as hell don't play by the same rules. You want in? Then stop thinking like the 99%. Learn these 3 rules, or stay where you are. The last one is the hardest. 1. Own, don't work. The 99% trade time for money. The 1% trade money for power. If you're still working for every dollar, you're playing the wrong game. 2. Never play fair. Fairness is a lie the powerful sell to the weak. The 1% don't follow rules, they write them. The only rule that matters, win. At all costs. 3. Play the long game. The poor want quick wins. The rich plant seeds that grow into empires. Short-term thinking keeps you broke. Long-term thinking makes you untouchable. The 1% don't live like you. They don't think like you. And they sure as hell don't play by the same rules. You want in? Then stop thinking like the 99%. Learn these 3 rules, or stay where you are. The last one is the hardest. 1. Own, don't work. The 99% trade time for money. The 1% trade money for power. If you're still working for every dollar, you're playing the wrong game. 2. Never play fair. Fairness is a lie the powerful sell to the weak. The 1% don't follow rules, they write them. The only rule that matters, win. At all costs. 3. Play the long game. The poor want quick wins. The rich plant seeds that grow into empires. Short-term thinking keeps you broke. Long-term thinking makes you untouchable. It only takes 5 seconds to manipulate someone. By the time you finish hearing this, you might get chills and maybe even break a cold sweat. Some people use these tactics to never run out of romantic partners. Some use them to effortlessly win over investors. Others use them to land big business deals. Pay attention to these examples and you'll start to see how psychological manipulation really works. For example, whenever you've been stuck next to someone who just won't stop talking, you want to cut in, but there's no opening. Try this. Accidentally drop something on the floor when you bend down to pick it up. That brief pause gives you a natural window to jump into the conversation. It's an interruption, but it doesn't feel like one. 2. Imagine someone says, there's this college girl who works at a nightclub after class. Your mind might instantly jump to a negative assumption. Now flip the phrasing. Even though she works nights at a club to pay the bills, she still shows up for college classes every day. Suddenly, she sounds strong, determined, admirable. Here's the trick. If you want to present something in a positive light, start with a negative. Here's a tactic that all intelligence operatives learn, and it's called elicitation. You use statements instead of questions to get the most powerful information from other people. When a person's being asked a question, it raises a little door in the brain that says, I need to be careful about the answer. If you're responding to a statement, your brain does not have that little security guard that comes out. And so, as a light example, let's just imagine you and me took an Uber to get here. We get into that Uber and I say, you know, I just read online that Uber drivers were rated the #1 job satisfaction of all the jobs in the country. So that starts a conversation, and then he says, no, it's really bad, you know. I do this, and they take the money and this, and then I do disbelief. This is another technique. Disbelief says, no way, there's no way that company would treat you like that. He goes, oh yeah, you'll never guess what happened just a couple weeks ago. And then he just kind of goes into this deep story that he would never tell another client. Who does he tell these stories to? Friends. I've made his brain start behaving in friend mode, and I haven't even asked any questions yet. You're not loyal, you're just afraid to leave. 3 ways bosses trap you without you realizing it. 1. The illusion of growth. They talk about growth, but your promotion comes with no real power, just more work. They sell you titles like trophies and you thank them for the wait. They trap you, not with rules, with rewards. Just enough to keep you hungry. They dangle promotion like bait, but never quite cash it in. 'Cause a hungry dog runs harder than a full one, too. They use praise as a leash. They flood you with praise when you're useful. The moment you slow down, silence. Cold. You chase approval like a starving animal. 3. Remember that time they called you family? It's not real, it's a trap. They call it a family. But family doesn't replace your weekends with deadlines. They use loyalty to keep you from asking for freedom. Now listen, you have been played more times than you can think of. You really want to be free? Then join us to become powerful. Tell someone what to do and they'll find a reason not to. Even if it's good for them. Even if they already wanted it. Because the second they feel controlled, their brain flips into defiance mode. The harder you push, the more they pull away. Not because they disagree, but because it wasn't their idea. It's called reactance. When someone feels like they're being controlled, they automatically push back. People need to feel like they are in control of their own decisions. Take that feeling away and they stop thinking clearly. They get stubborn. They say no just to prove they still can. That's why aggressive selling doesn't work. That's why preaching makes people shut down. That's why threats usually make things worse. This kind of resistance doesn't care if the idea makes sense. It only cares about one thing: who's in charge. And if it's not them, they'll avoid the idea at any cost. So, don't tell people to do something. Make them feel like it was their idea all along. Instead of saying, do this, say, the smartest people I know, do this. This way, you give them the illusion of autonomy while also stroking their ego, an offer only few could resist. When somebody disrespects you, says something disrespectful, rude, or ugly, the real power move is not to fire back with a quick, catty comeback. That sharp, smart Alex zinger. It might feel satisfying for a moment, but it always leaves a bitter, empty taste. Power isn't in the words you say. Power's in the words you don't say. When they throw their ugly words at you, you let those words just hang in the air. Say nothing. Hold your silence for 8-10 seconds. No reaction, no engagement. And watch what happens next. Suddenly they feel kind of silly. Because what they wanted, what they were craving, was that reaction, that strike back, that dopamine hit from seeing you lose your cool. But you don't give it to them. You don't make it fun for them. You don't play their game. Instead, they're left with silence, an empty stage. And slowly, the truth hits them. They're the bad person in this moment. They're the one who looks foolish. And if there's someone worth keeping in your life, they'll be the first to apologize. If they don't, then maybe they were never worth your time at all. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strength. The real power move is knowing when to speak and when to say nothing at all. You love watching people fail. Don't lie to yourself. The scandal, the downfall, the public humiliation. It excites you because for 1 second you can finally feel superior. Their collapse lifts your ego without you having to do anything. This is day 30 of the psychology of power. It's called Schadenfreude. The pleasure you feel when others fall is all about hierarchy. Human beings are wired for constant comparison. When someone around you excels, it threatens your self-worth. But if they fail, that pressure disappears. Their loss becomes your emotional release. You don't have to admit you're jealous. You don't have to try harder. Their crash resets the balance. It justifies your inaction and the brain rewards it. You feel smarter, safer, even superior. All without lifting a finger. Use that. Their resentment is obsession. The more they want to see you fall, the closer they follow. That's free reach, free attention, free momentum. Don't hide, provoke. Make them invest emotionally in your outcome. Because the more they wait for your failure, the more they spread your name. And if you don't fall, they built your platform with their own hands. Let their hate carry you higher, then never come down. There are two types of people, those that watch things happen and those that make things happen. Which do you intend to be? Control is an art form. It's not about holding the leash. It's about making them believe they were never on one to begin with. Control is an art form. It's not about holding the leash. It's about making them believe they were never on one to begin with.